There are many things that set Orlando theme parks apart from most other theme parks around the world, but one of the coolest is how much detail they put into different sections of their parks. Different little details and secrets that reward the most eagle-eyed of fans. That 95% of guests overlook because they can't even find the entrance to Spider-Man, even though there's a giant neon sign with Spider-Man. I'm getting away from myself. I'm Chris from Orlando, and welcome to Easter Egg Hunt in Marvel Superhero Island. So let's start from right where you walk in at Hulk. On the side of the launch hill, you'll see that access is restricted unless authorized by General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. You've seen him in the MCU, hunting down the Hulk and introducing the Sokovia Accords, although we haven't seen him Hulk up yet. In front of the queue, we have the awesome statue of the Hulk tearing apart some of the ride, or at least the older ride. The track you see behind the statue is part of the original ride track. When they rebuilt the ride a couple years ago, they took some of the scrap to create this iconic entrance. Fun fact, during that time, team members were invited to sign a bit of the new track. I got to do something similar with the Velocicoaster, only to find out later that they painted over everyone's names. Yeah, I'm not bitter. All throughout the land, you can find these weird stations that allow you to listen in on broadcast. You can even listen in to goons telling other goons about potential scores.
All in all, supervillains, the priceless Marantz Diamond is being held overnight in the Brimstone Depository, and we've discovered it will be under close guard by the hard-headed Iron Man himself. All supervillains with the powers and the abilities to defeat this high level of security, or anyone with a can opener, should go for it. That's all!
Even hear some of your favorite heroes give an update on their ongoing battles.
Patch in the Superhero Exchange, number 1934.
This is Captain America. All Avengers, listen closely. Our individual attacks on Carnage are having no effect. We have to combine our efforts and act as one if we hope to defeat it.
4 stands behind you.
Yeah! Okay, first everyone pay attention.
Now, I'm not sure when that particular clip was implemented, but it seems to connect with Islands Under Siege, the Halloween Horror Nights Marvel-themed scare zone that happened in 2002, where Carnage and other villains defeated the heroes and took over the island. I guess we truly are living in the darkest timeline. Over at Cafe 4, as you enter in, you may be too distracted by the smell of pizza to notice that while the name of the business is Cafe 4, the building itself is called the Baxter Annex, a reference to the Baxter Building, home of the Fantastic Four. Here's one you've probably noticed. The main street of the island is Stanley Boulevard, named after the legendary comic writer and cameo expert. What you may not know is what Yancey Street is a reference to. Yancey Street is home to the Yancey Street Gang, who regularly mock and antagonize the Thing. And it's down this alley that we find our most nefarious Easter eggs. In front of Dr. Doom's Fearfall, you'll see a facade for Osborn Industries, or as is more well known these days, Oscorp, as well as some busts of either Venom or Carnage. It's hard to tell without the color. You'll also see perhaps the most obscure reference around in Gladiator's costume shop. Gladiator is a costume designer who turned evil and has tangled with Daredevil in the past, even appearing in the Netflix show. Speaking of the really good lawyer, you can see a banner advertising Nelson and Murdoch Attorneys of Law across from the arcade, as well as a banner for Fogwell Gym, where Battling Jack Murdoch used to train. Next to that, you'll see a sign for Blaze and Ketch Mechanics, which are the names of 2 Ghost Riders, Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze. You've seen Ghost Rider previously played by Nick Cage and his weird abs, and hopefully played by Norman Reedus soon. Please, we've been ever so good. This isn't really an Easter egg, but still pretty cool. As you leave Doom through the arcade, you'll notice a locked up throne. This is of course Dr. Doom's throne, and on very rare occasions, he'll sit on it overlooking the arcade, and even pop into the control station for Fearfall to see how his latest scheme is working. And judging by this next detail, I think Doom will be quite pleased indeed. Scattered around on the pavement in front of the towers, you'll see outlines of 3 different characters. These are supposed to represent members of the Fantastic Four who plummeted from the tower. While their powers shouldn't mean they'll be okay, it's a good explanation why you don't see or hear from any of them around the island. Also, there's no outline for the Thing because that'd be more like a crater, wouldn't it? Finally, by the information booth, we have a sign for Donald Blake, MD, who, believe it or not, is the secret identity of Thor. Yeah, back in the day, Thor couldn't just be a god of thunder the whole time, so when he was going incognito, he was Donald Blake, whippy guy with cane. Imagine pissing off this guy, only for him to turn into a Norse god when you square up the fight. And we're going to end today with a question that gets asked a lot. Why does Universal have a Marvel area, but Disney World doesn't, despite owning Marvel? Well, it's because Marvel and Universal have been working together since the late 90s, long before Robert Downey Jr. made the general public care. When Disney bought Marvel, they said that any standing deals they had will be honored, even if it's with their competitors. And since Universal had the theme park rights, they get to keep the land. As long as they keep paying Disney money, of course. That is, over on this coast at least. Since Universal only have theme park rights to Marvel to the east of the Mississippi River, Disney is free to use whoever they like at all the other parks. Meanwhile, all we get over here is Guardians of the Galaxy and Big Hero 6, because before those movies came out, no one cared about those characters, so Universal didn't grab those rights. And those are just some of the many Easter eggs scattered throughout Marvel Superhero Island at Islands of Adventure. Which was your favorite? Who's your favorite Marvel superhero? Leave them in the comments down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button to help this channel grow. I'm Chris from Orlando, and I could do this all day! Take care, y'all. Well, don't hurt nobody.